Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, at the last Nintendo E3, there was several new things that happened, but one of the most notable things was the new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, or at least the sequel. And they were very specific not to give a name. They just said a sequel is being worked on now. They didn't say when it's coming out or whatnot. People are saying it's like 2020. Um, it's not confirmed or anything. They were very specific on not confirming any of that, as it says here. A sequel, Breath of the Wild, is now in development. They don't even say it's coming out technically, but they say it's in development. Obviously, it's most likely coming out. So, I'm going to be doing a very in-depth review of this and also my thoughts on what all these scenes in the trailer mean, as well as like predictions for what's going to be in the game. So right off the bat, something I haven't seen anyone else talk about, and I have seen a couple other people talking about this, like this whole trailer, but I've never seen a lot of these things mentioned, so that's what I'm gonna try to do in this video. But basically, these symbols right here are obviously, some of them are identifiably from the Gerudo alphabet. There's a direct translation, that's a J, I believe, right there. It's not clear what all the rest of these are. That kind of looks like a music note, to be honest. And going a little bit inward, this isn't really important. It's probably nothing, but I feel like it's worth noting that that kind of looks like a the, but I don't know. I like a cursive the, but I don't know. It's very, very unlikely that that's the case. A few more things about this green energy looking light. First of all, the fact that it makes characters all automatically sorry. The fact that it makes these characters automatically relates it to, of course, the blue characters that kind of come in the same almost sort of energy format that make characters from the Sheikah Slate and other Sheikah things. But however, there's a few things different about it, notably, which are, this is obviously not blue, this is green. It's a different kind of light, which I'll be expanding more on that later. And this is different characters, as you, obviously it's not Sheikah, because all the Sheikah letters are more square and like they have very distinct rune looking properties. Not rune per se, I don't know how to describe how they look, but they're not this. This is not how the Sheikah alphabet looks. This is definitely the Gerudo alphabet, if not some sort of hybrid between a few others maybe that we haven't seen, or maybe some we have seen. We just, I don't know. There's a lot of theories. I'm not too keen on like my translations and all that. I'm just saying, I just feel like that's worth noting. Moving on to the next scene. So all this energy is spiraling from the top. Now, obviously these look like spines to me. Obviously they're probably not spines, but I mean, and like I said, I'm just going through all the details and like seeing what they might look like and mean, and what they look like to me anyway. So obviously this hand is coming down, not going up. It's as you can see from the way it's moving, okay, it looks like the light is coming from the hand, actually. So the green light, that's a hand right there. If you haven't seen this trailer, yeah, go watch it. But that's a figure right there, and that's a hand, and the light is coming up from the hand. So it's unclear where the hand comes from, or even where it goes in just a minute here. But as we can see, the Malice from the first game, though we thought was destroyed, is still going. It's still appearing in this second, at least, trailer. That's very important because we know already that it's not totally destroyed, and for those people who say it could be a prequel or whatever, it's not. It directly says it's a sequel. It's straight up is not a prequel. So we can pretty much just rule that out right there because Nintendo confirms it. So yeah, the Malice is there, and where it's coming from is also important. These inscriptions on the wall are very important too. Obviously, if you haven't seen any other reviews, that's Ganon right there. And that is a trident, which he is well known for using in several different games. And he's leading a sort of army here. So it's fairly obvious that these inscriptions on the wall are of Ganon. It's telling a story of Ganon's past, some incarnation of Ganondorf. not Beast Ganon or anything, just straight up Ganondorf. You can tell he has long hair here, and you don't really see any jewelry on him, but he's riding a horse, and he's got several other like troops on horses as well. They're just, he has an army basically. So he has an army. We know that much, or he had an army at least. And these, of course, are very similar to the way Breath of the Wild 1 describes all its storytelling and whatnot. The way it kind of has like a sheet of paper or something, parchment, some old kind of writing style, and it's just a story told in this very fashion with the same kind of shapes and whatnot going into it. It's a very, very similar style, so I think it's safe to say it's probably done by the same tribe of people, or at least by the same time, at the same time as the other ones. Of course, in the original story, Ganon has longer hair. Like I said, this is important to notice here, so just keep that in mind. And obviously, right here, we get a better look at many, many more symbols coming down from the top. And they're all swirling down towards his hand. Still going up, by the way. Now, these symbols are also, we can't really make these out, but they are similar to another tribe, which I will get to again in a second. Now, next scene, we see Zelda, of course, riding on this new type of animal we haven't seen, which has been covered plenty. I don't think it's all that important which kind of animal this is, but then again, you could be riding it. I mean, I have no idea how this is gonna play into the actual game. I feel like they wouldn't make a model unless it's gonna come into the game later on, just like this rat here. This rat has its own model, and we're probably gonna see rats in the game. If you haven't seen, these are luminous stones like you can collect in the game, except they're much more abundant here. And okay, so probably one of the things I'm most excited about here, look at where they are. This place is a straight up cave, okay? I'm gonna fast forward to another bit here. You can see this has a ceiling. You can see they're definitely in some kind of cave or cavern. I'm really excited for that, because even if it is the same world as the last game, there's caves. There are definitely caves. There have to be more, if not dungeons. And either way, I'm gonna be so hyped because that looks amazing. I'm gonna go back to this scene though. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I cannot believe they rendered that entire cave. So they gotta have some sort of use for caves, right? In this game, where you can explore and whatnot. So there's the malice seemingly coming out from that center point where the hand is. Okay, so now we can see from this scene, Link does not have a shield. He only has the sword once again, which makes sense because of all the storytelling in Breath of the Wild, if you hadn't seen that. And this seems to be the same outfit as Link's previous outfit in the last game, with the tunic, the royal tunic, or what? I'm sorry, I forgot what that was called. I feel bad for forgetting that. But we do have this hood in the game, as well as this same tunic. Although there are a few changes. For example, he has padding here now. He did not have that. It looks very cool. And of course, he has this little chest plate here. Or he's got it here. It's like another strap rather than a belt, kind of around his entire torso. It's also worth noting, this is like kind of a mash between two of the outfits in the game, the Hylian tunic and the Champion's tunic. That's what it's called. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's kind of a mashup between the two, which is really cool, and I love that. Obviously, Zelda here has her own cape with a little hood, and her hair is cut short. This could be for a few different reasons, but honestly, I think it's just a design choice. I think it could have some story impact in there. But now, obviously, the main feature right in the center here, we can see a corpse-looking body, a almost re-dead-looking character here, and where the hand is kind of, it looks like he's holding it up or down. And it's unclear, really, but here we see Link packing up on the, whatever this thing is, kind of some sort of bison. I'm not sure. There are more luminous stones. We are definitely in a cave. This is an underwater cavern with some rivers and whatnot. There's Zelda like getting water and then, of course, stocking up because now I think this scene was added in to show that it's kind of a long journey. They've been down there for a while. I think this is the opening scene of the game. If I hadn't said that already, I think this is the opening scene of the game where they're all just kind of. This is directly after the events of Ganon. Zelda cuts her hair and Link gets a new outfit, but other than that, it's pretty much directly after. Of course, we do see this very sad moment where the rat kind of gets consumed by the malice, but here, it does look kind of different. Not that different, mind you, but the malice kind of looks like it's a new kind of form, almost like it almost looks like hands, kind of more blobs stretching outward and stuff, whatnot. I don't know how appearing that was in the original game, but I don't think it was quite like that. Of course, here's the scene I mentioned earlier. They're walking over a bridge or a mine shaft of some kind with more luminous stones and a huge cave in the background, cavern. They're not really doing much. They're just kind of looking down here. It looks like they kind of just completely stopped. Here's Zelda. She's looking. You can see the light reflecting. There's most likely a wall right about here. And Link looking in about the same spot. Now they're probably reading the very inscriptions we saw about here. These scenes probably go hand in hand, like one after the other. Now she looks, you can see kind of a look of surprise on her face right here. That's when she finds out what's really happening in the story, which we don't know yet for sure. Maybe she just finds Ganon. But Link looks at her and like, worry. So yeah, we can tell they're probably most likely reading off that wall there. Now with this scene, okay, this is obviously a very similar shot to earlier. Not too much else to notice. But here, okay, here's where that long hair bit comes in, because here, this corpse has very long hair. As we can see, it's very red, faded hair. Obviously, it would be faded if you were as dried up as this guy, right? So, now this is very clearly Ganon. I think it's very clear in my opinion. For one, the Gerudo symbols on his jewelry and the fact that he's wearing all this jewelry here. Yeah, there's another Gerudo symbol there. Yes, that is the Gerudo symbol for people who don't know. Because I've seen a few videos who like couldn't identify that. One or two, I don't know, but yeah, there's the very long hair. So the reason that's important is because people are speculating. I'll clearly this is Ganon. It's not Demise. People are saying it's Demise. I definitely do not think it is. For one, Demise had much longer hair, and different color hair, and it was straight up fire, which wasn't. That's not it, Chief. So, okay, right here is where we can see a lot of what's happening. For one, this Ganon has teeth. No other Ganon we've seen except Beast Ganons had teeth, right? So, or Ganondorfs rather had teeth like this. They have sort of I don't know what those are actually called, but they have sharper teeth right here in these spots here, and that's indicating that this is likely not a Ganon we've seen before. And there's a few other things pointing to that. There's this gym here, which this gym is most likely a correspondent to the fact that Calamity Beast Ganon, like when you're fighting the giant hog in the last game, the very last shot you take is an eye that pops open on Ganon's head. That's probably what causes that look to take place with the eye, is that gem there. It's unclear what that gem exactly is. It does appear to be glowing as if it's reacting to something. I think is also worth mentioning. Worth mentioning. It's not luminous stone, so it's not like a glow in the dark stone, or most likely it's not anyway. Because in this world, the luminous stones are the ones known for glowing in the dark. This probably isn't reacting to the dark. It's most likely reacting to this energy here, which I will get more to on this in a second. Also, this spot right here is very important, where it's grabbing Ganon. Ganondorf, because people have made connections to Twilight Princess Ganon, which, for one, I would love if this was, but I definitely do not think it's Twilight Princess Ganon. For one, it's a whole nother game. I don't think they would bring back the same Ganon for this whole incarnation of Link, right? I very much doubt it. He does appear to be dead, or at least some sort of like corpse, right? So it's unclear what exactly is going on here. But then again, the monks have been able to stay alive with this sort of embodiment, or at least they appear alive. I mean, maybe they're possessed too, but it's very, very doubted. We never do see their eyes, which is interesting. I don't think. But we see this guy's eyes, and they are completely out, which will change later. But also, this spot again. This is the same spot. Twilight Ganondorf is impaled with the Spirit Sword right here, or the Sage's Sword rather, right there. It's kind of more like right here, but it's people have just kind of given it a little leeway there because they really want it to be Twilight Princess Ganon, I suppose, which I really do. For one, I definitely do. I think that'd be really cool, but any excuse to make a connection to Twilight Princess in this game, I absolutely go for, because I freaking love Twilight Princess. But this, I do not think is that. Now, it's also there was one more connection, and I just don't remember. But yeah, he had a wound here basically, and that could be where this malice is sort of spilling out of. Now, it looks kind of like this hand is pouring the malice into Ganon, right? And he's getting possessed by the malice. But I think it's something else, because if that were the case, I don't think we would see it leaking so much like that. It's clearly coming out from this spot right here, but I don't think it's from the hand. I think it's coming from Ganondorf. And the hand, I think, is good. It's trying to hold back Ganon's power, right? It's unclear what exactly this is. Again, we don't know for sure what this hand is, and it's very, very unclear. However, I think it could be connected, and this is probably just me, again, like I said, wanting to connect everything to Twilight Princess, but this looks very much like another tribe's sort of style, right? Am I wrong about that? Because everything except the gold bit right here, because we don't really see gold, but in the Twilight tribe, right, in Twilight Princess, they have this sort of green glow with these very, very similar patterns going through it, and a green sort of light, very, very similar to this. They even have a giant hand, right, comes and snatches you up. There's like a little ball in that game, I think, which has the same color, which you have to pick up and escape the hand with. But obviously, I don't think it's connected to the hand directly itself. But if it was a hand from the Twilight Realm, that would be superb. I would freaking love that. And it's like a Twilight Realm coming back to kind of stop Ganon, right? It could also, but I don't think it is because of the gold. Nintendo's very good about details and whatnot. So seeing as how it's like gold here and not standard black and whatnot, I do not think it is. But then again, it's possible that the Twilight people have sort of advanced into changing their colors slightly, but their power looks very much the same. Okay, there was a scene right there that I need to go into. So right here, I mentioned this a little bit, but the hand is, I think the malice is coming from Ganon. There's a lot of things I need to explain right now. There's a lot of things in this trailer, and that's why I'm going so in depth into it. But the malice, like I said, the hand is holding back the malice, and that's why it's kind of spewing out the sides. It's doing its best, but it doesn't look like it's quite grabbing Ganon, right? It does look like it's just sort of resting there, or at least pushing down. It does look a little bit like it's grabbing Ganon, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to tell. Now, this scene right here, that very, very brief scene right there. So Link right here is interacting with this green light somehow. It seems from his facial expression we can kind of gather, and here's more symbols and whatnot. That even looks like an E. But from his facial expression, it looks like we can gather that this is hurting Link, and it looks like it's kind of tearing away his hand, honestly, which is not good. And quite honestly, Link could lose his entire arm in this game, which I'll talk about more. But yeah, he's interacting with the light in some way. Maybe he's absorbing it. Maybe it's going into him, or you know, maybe attacking him in some way, which would make this hand bad, obviously. And it is the same light coming from the hand, but it does appear to be dangerous, which we can see from this. So yeah, maybe he's reaching for Zelda or something, which I'll show in a second, because she does fall somewhere, and I don't know. It's unclear why he has his hand there. A lot of things are unclear in this trailer. Let's just say that, okay? But it's very likely that this is hurting Link, or it's a bad energy. Like, so I'm so confused on whether this hand is good or not. But okay. But I just don't know. Really, I think, and I kind of want actually, I think Link loses his hand. And in the concept art for the original Breath of the Wild, if you didn't know, there was a design where Link had a sort of you know how Blight Ganons have those weapons right out of the malice? It looks like mechanical and has the malice and whatnot. Powered by that kind of. It looks in the in the concept art for designing Link in Breath of the Wild originally, there was a design where his right arm was entirely different. It had its own like look. It was all purple and it had machinery on it, and that could be really, really cool in the game. In Breath of the Wild, he's right-handed. He uses his Master Sword with his right hand, or at least I'm pretty sure he does, because Link is known for being left-handed, but I'm pretty positive he's not in this. So, which would be really cool, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe he could switch out. Like a good example of this is the Grass Blade from Adventure Time. I don't know if you've watched that, but Finn can kind of just pull that out at any time, and it's kind of like attached to him. It's a part of him, right? So he just pull out the Grass Blade whenever he wants, but he still has his hand free. It's simply a part of him that he can access at any point, which I think would be really cool in Breath of the Wild, especially considering how little of an arsenal you have in Breath of the Wild, because Zelda games are known for having such wide varieties of items you can use, and Breath of the Wild does not have that many. Of course, it has the bow, like many games do, but it's not really an item. You have basically like 4 or 5, depending on how you count the bomb. But they're not. Only about 3 of them are really useful, and it was kind of disappointing how little there were in such a big game. So I really hope that we get way more of an arsenal, maybe even like a freaking hook shot. How great would that be, especially for climbing? I mean, if you can just zip up to like any mountain, right, with a hook shot of sorts, like a mouse looking hook shot, that would be just insane, and I would love to see that. So get on that, Nintendo. But now, here we can see right here the malice kind of shooting up, and notably the green light is gone right here. It's not visible. There is kind of a faint green glow here, but very quickly it gets overtaken by this purple glow from the malice, of course. And now it looks like the malice is getting released, and it's just shooting up really quickly for all the power that Ganondorf wields, which would make sense having the Triforce of Power. But then again, because he's known for having the Triforce of Power, right? But in the last game, Zelda has all the Triforces, right, making up the 3 triangle Triforce. I don't know what to call it, but the full Triforce, right? She has all 3 pieces of it. So I don't know if Ganon's gonna like kind of have that, but it'll be very interesting. We see Link grabbing, reaching for Zelda, right here. Right here, he's reaching for Zelda. I'm going to play this in a slower speed. Let me see. So Link is sort of reaching for Zelda right here. And this is because she falls right about somewhere around here. Yeah, where does she fall? I have no idea. She's about to, though. But yeah, we see Link reaching for Zelda, and that could be where this happens. But we see him grab Zelda, which would mean like he's able to pull her up, or maybe she falls and he's reaching for her, and that's when it happens. But then again, that's after the events. It's kind of hard to see when these events happen. Now, okay, there's so much to decipher here. So obviously, this is after Zelda falls because Link's reaching for her, and he grabs Zelda, right? But maybe Link doesn't he doesn't have a good enough grip, so he starts falling with Zelda, or maybe without Zelda, and the green hand comes out to grab him. And that's why I think this part of why I think this green hand here is good, because it looks like it's saving Link. It's pulling Link back. And after the green glow was gone, right? The green glow was gone when we saw the mouse spew up. So that we can see the mouse is here with all the dust everywhere. That means it's kind of, there's this one scene where it kind of collapses, and we can see it's after that because of all this dust. So it looks like the hand is reaching to save Link and kind of pull him out. Yeah, so it's unclear. It's so unclear. But okay, now here the malice is shooting out and the green glow is still there. It's very interesting. But okay. So here now, obviously, whether this green hand here is good or not, we can tell that these two are not friends. This clearly looks like he's in surprise or he's in fear, and this hand is kind of coming to either stop him or destroy him, right? So this looks like Demise, right? It's kind of got flamey-ish hair. Excuse me. And I'm not saying this isn't Demise. It's possible this could be, and it's just like, I very much doubt it, but I'm not saying it's impossible that this could be Demise is Shadow, and like it's kind of a callback to Skyward Sword, right? Where it all started. Because obviously this isn't what's happening here. It looks like it because his hand down here and his hand up here, which is what we see here. But then again, the angles are different because his head here and his feet here, and that's not what we're seeing. It's so weird. And Nintendo's very good about details, so I don't know what that's about. Now it's again worth noting that this hand appears to not be grabbing Ganon so hard anymore. It looks like it's kind of letting go, which could be what's happening here. This could be letting go of Ganon. And it's like he, instead of in fear or shock, Ganon is sort of powering, right? He's powering up. And the hand is kind of getting pushed back, which it's possible that's what's happening here. But the hand doesn't appear to move, so I don't know if that's real time with what's... I don't know if that scene is what real time with what's actually happening here. This could be like storytelling aspect, which would be very cool. Now these footsteps are Zelda's. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember how exactly her outfit looked, but I'm positive. Yep, that's Zelda right there. So she steps and she falls right here. This is the scene I was mentioning. She falls and Link. So after the malice. Let me look at something here. Okay, so that's before she falls or after if she gets saved, but I don't want her to get lost this early. Definitely not, because we just saved her. And I don't think she will, but it's possible. But yeah, so Zelda falls, right? And that appears to be after Malice has shot up and kind of just erupted from Ganon. And that's why Link looks in his sort of ready stance. He's like, he's ready to fight because he looks like he's in danger. He looks like he's defending himself. Right here, his little stance here. And Zelda is kind of caught off guard and she falls. Link goes to catch her, which is what we see here. Link goes to catch her, and then the green hand catches Link when he kind of slips and almost falls with her. So I think they both get saved by this green hand, which would be very interesting. Now Zelda's back either before or after. No, this is after. I'm sorry. Very important to mention, the dust is still kind of clearing here. It definitely looks like it's after the fall because the dust still looks like it's kind of clearing, but at the same time, this I didn't even mention this. Okay, but at the same time, when she falls, it looks like there's that same kind of dust. This is the dust from her falling. This is the dust that's just kind of there. So I'm thinking it could be before or after. Like I said, there's dust everywhere now, right? It could be before or after. They did a very good job of kind of masking that. But so Zelda sees this. She's in shock right there. She sees that, seemingly. She sees this. The music stops. Ganon's limp body, alright, turns his head, and boom, there's the malice. So we see his light his eyes kind of light up with these eyes from the malice that we see in the first game, and his gym is glowing like mad right now, which is, all this is very, very important to know. We don't see the full eyes, I don't think, actually. I think we just kind of see the pupils, but those are definitely the eyes from the malice, which could have originated from this Ganon, but they were all kind of dispersed, and this Ganon was sort of destroyed. His body was destroyed, and I don't know, maybe it's getting reawakened since all the other parts of Ganon have been eradicated, and now it's starting to reawaken because his spirit has nowhere else to go. He needs a new embodiment, or an old embodiment rather. So this, okay, I'm sorry, I'll say that for the end. But in this scene, we see right after that, the castle sort of raises itself into the air. Hyrule Castle raises itself into the air after a huge breakaway from the earth. This is another there's another connection to the concept art once again, because in the concept art there was an idea for Ganon to sort of reside on this floating island, and that could be what's happening here. All this scenery could be taking place right under Hyrule Castle, and that's where they are exploring. And that would make sense why Ganon in Breath of the Wild, Ganon, when we fight him, is originating from here, this castle. All that malice and blight and whatever, it's coming from there. So yeah, it's another connection to the concept art. And once again, this is definitely the same world we explored in Breath of the Wild 1. So it appears to be the same world where you might just be exploring twice, and it makes sense why they would do that, because they spent so much time building this massive world along with the engine. So obviously they're going to be using the same engine. It's unclear whether it'll be the same world. This could be taking them somewhere completely different. Maybe they freaking go to the moon. I don't know. But this is definitely getting lifted above the ground. Or at least higher. Like the kind of Great Plateau here. So, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff that's happening in this scene. So, here we go. This is the last scene. The sort of green light fades away. And we get this. So I'm going to take it out of 0.25 speed here. And, okay, there's a heartbeat at the end. There's a kind of sort of fast heartbeat. Excuse me. And at the beginning, we hear a very slow heartbeat. This could be Ganon's heartbeat, right? His sort of dormant heartbeat. He's kind of still. He's still there, like he can't move very much. But at the end, we hear it's a much faster heartbeat, right? Okay, hold on. Definitely much faster than this. So this could be representing Ganon waking up. Ganon's original form from this game, which we never ever saw. We never saw a Gerudo version of Ganon. We only saw Blight Ganons and Calamity Ganon and whatnot. So this is very interesting, and I can't. In short, I am so excited for this game. I cannot wait. So, in summary, this appears to be a new Ganon. Link and Zelda both have new outfits. There's new models coming to the game, which we will likely see in the final cut. We have caves, and we have temples, it looks like. This temple, though, does appear to just be where they're entering at the beginning. So who knows if there will be more. Of course, if you haven't seen people talk about these are the same runes. You can kind of see, I forgot what they were called, but you can kind of tell these are, or you can easily tell these are definitely the same runes you see in Breath of the Wild. But you never see a cave entrance like this, or a temple entrance rather, that you can sort of explore. And that's why I'm so excited, because it looks like you'll be able to explore more of these, and I am just so excited to be able to explore more of Hyrule and sort of the caves and the temples and whatnot that look to be coming up, instead of just the shrines, which are all the same theme, and you know, there wasn't much distinction between them. This sort of picture with Ganon here, it could be telling a story of sort of how Ganon came to be there. There are so many different theories, and I'm only going to get to a few of them. I think it's possible Ganon could have sought power in this cave, because he has lost the Triforce of Power, obviously. So he is looking for ways to build back his dominion, right? We see he has an army right here, and he's sort of alone now. So he might be coming to seek power to rebuild his kingdom and like his dominion over everything he had. It's possible that this has been there for a long time, and the hand is sensing that he's awaking, so it's trying to stop him. It's possible that the hand is causing it. All these different things, I think, are all worth noting. So, yeah, my predictions are basically, obviously, this is a new Ganon, and that we will be fighting this Ganon, not Demise. That this hand will be good, and we will definitely have new abilities in the game from Link's new hand. Nintendo, I love you. All right, keep coming out with this stuff. This is amazing. It's possible we're fighting mummified or re-dead, maybe dead for a while, form of Ganondorf that we have never seen before. One last thing to mention, the music here is clearly played backwards, right? You can kind of tell by the way it ends and the way it starts. Now, this is an actual song played backwards from the original Zelda. I forgot what it was called, but it was like Ganon's theme, I think. So it's very fitting from his sort of reawakening here. I don't know. That's just for people who don't know about the music. Wondering, you can play it in reverse. There's tons of videos out there. You can just play it in reverse using those videos, and you can hear the song. The song does kind of play. It doesn't sound quite right reverse either. It's like you have to hear it for yourself. So tell me your experiences on it, and how excited you are for this game. I, for one, can't believe they're adding caves. I really hope anyway, and new models and all that. Oh my, I'm so excited. So leave a comment, leave a like, and definitely subscribe. I just hit 200 subscribers. I'm looking forward to how far this channel can go and will go, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks for watching so much.